Hey everybody, how's it going? I'm back and I've just put together a quick little tribute video to the 40th anniversary of Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi. And of course I have Super Star Wars music in the background at the moment, but let's kill that, shall we? Alright, there we go. There we are. So, I want to know your memories of seeing Return of the Jedi the first time. Whether it was in the theater, whether it was on re-release. My good buddy Sky Westman saw it out of order as a child, and that kind of messed him up, certainly, because it doesn't really make a lot of sense if you don't see Episode 4 and 5, A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. So yeah, it's pretty incomprehensible if you don't see the first two movies. So let me know, what was your first experience with Return of the Jedi? Did you love it? Did you not love it so much? Some critics were kind of harsh on the Ewoks and everything, but no, I loved it, of course, as a child. My experience was I was 5 years old. I had seen A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back coming into this, so that it makes sense, of course. So I saw those movies on re-release in '82 or early '83, something like that. And of course my cousin was the big Star Wars fan, and he would get me all jazzed and hyped into Star Wars, so thank you, Josh. In fact, it was my father, my uncle, and my cousin Josh that all went with me the first time that I went to go see Return of the Jedi in the theater in Ottawa. I think it was in Ottawa, and I, of course, loved it. I watched the whole movie start to finish, except for one scene where I had my eyes closed, which was the Rancor scene. I was like, no, the Rancor! And that was a pretty convincing puppet, But anyway, so the second time I went to go see the movie with my mom and probably others that came with us as well, this time I couldn't handle the Rancor. I was like, the Rancor, that poor Gamorrean guard. I'm 5 years old, ladies and gentlemen. Alright, so, Return of the Jedi, definitely, along with the other two Star Wars movies, is the movie that I've seen in the theater more than any other, yeah, my precious memories of that is, collecting the cards, the action figures, the Kenner action figures, of course, that were everywhere at the time. In fact, I've got a bunch of stuff here that I could show off a little bit here. In terms of the merchandising, everybody knows what the figures look like and everything, so I'm not going to really show that off. I'm just going to show off one page from Steven Sansweet's his archives here, basically, his collection. So I'm going to watch the glare there if I can. And yeah, I don't know, maybe a still would be better, But that's okay, you can see it. So there you go, just a whole bunch of Return of the Jedi stuff, including one thing that is actually really, really special that you could not get in stores, and that thing was this. The Win Your Own Speeder Bike. Let's get that in the shot. There you go. Look at that. Win Your Own Speeder Bike. So that was obviously, a contest that they had back then. I don't know who won it. Maybe it was Steve Sansweet. I don't know. But this book is awesome if you ever get a chance to seek it out. Mine's got a lot of water damage over the years, but oh well, what can you do? So today, and probably tonight after work, I'm going to watch Return of the Jedi, of course, but I'm going to watch this one, which is the Grindhouse 35mm version of Revenge of the Jedi. The title poster is just for fun, really. It's still Return of the Jedi, of course, but this version has none of the special edition effects. And that may be the first time that some of the younger audiences out there, because a lot of people are watching, that may be the first time that you saw Return of the Jedi was in special edition. So you saw the new Jabba's band, which was not as cool as the original, disco type band, I thought, the old Laptinek. I do miss that. And other things, obviously many changes to Return of the Jedi that didn't bother me too much. I didn't really care for the new Jabba's band, but otherwise, all the other changes are fairly negligible. I'm pretty indifferent to those changes. One of my favorite things about Star Wars, of course, is always going to be the soundtracks by John Williams. So I've got the 4-disc anthology collection. This came out in 1993, and there's the back there with Obi-Wan and Luke and everything. So it's 4 CDs of the original soundtracks, so the original versions of the original soundtracks, the originals. So I love it. I'm going through this book here just to see if there's anything cool to show off. Not really, because it's all black and so they're all like this. this version here, the single disc version. They did release like double versions and like other versions of it, and of course the special edition music, because there was a little bit of music added, of course, to Jabba's scene, and then the end of Return of the Jedi as well. So here's another question for you, commenters. What do you like better? Do you like the original Ewoks, that, you know, the Yub Nub song and everything, the Ewok celebration, or were you more into the new version, which is and it shows like Naboo and Coruscant and other places, and I thought that was pretty cool, a good way of kind of wrapping in the, you know, the prequels there, so, hey, why not? So what else can I show off here? Well, I've got a ton of crap here to show off. I'll try not to repeat myself, hopefully, here. Alright, so here's one figure. I'm not going to show off any original Kenner figures. I have them all the ones that were on this type of card. So I was a sucker for this card back, of course, you know, and this type of Luke, this picture, you know, I've never seen before. It's really just Luke without his robe, and he's got handcuffs, and he's got a lightsaber, and he's got a lightsaber hilt as well. So that's pretty cool. The original vintage collection, or they called it the original trilogy collection, or the, you know, there's just so many different names for these figures. But these came out in the late 2000s, I think, maybe early 2010s. And there's the late great Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia. And I also have the comic book adaptation, which I just recently showed off in a video of all my non-superhero comics. So that's part 4 of Return of the Jedi. And I also got this magazine, too, which I found, Star Wars The Insider, well, Star Wars Insider is called, 20th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. So that was 20 years ago that this magazine came out. And, yeah, I mean, that's how old this is. Look at this Clone Wars game for GameCube and for PC, I guess, and stuff. But whatever it's for. And, well, I'll show this off, too. This is a really nice poster from Return of the Jedi. I actually have this poster as a full pull-out poster somewhere. I'm not sure where it is at the moment, but I also have the original Return of the Jedi poster too, with the two hands on the lightsaber. It's just a shot of the lightsaber, so that old blue poster I do have. Here's a little, here's a kiddie-ish kind of thing I'll show. This is a Return of the Jedi pop-up book that I've had since I was a little kid. So I've had this since I was like 5 or 6 years old, and yeah, we'll show off some of it here. Not the whole thing, but some of it. So you can see Leia rescuing Han, or revealing herself there. And then Luke falls into the Rancor pit, into the trap. There we go. And what else? Oh, then there's the pop-up sail barge. So that's cool. You can hear the music now. And oh, speeder bikes. Actually, why make sound effects when I have a sound effects generator here? Or there you go. So yeah, pretty sweet. And the space battle. Space battle is, I mean, as a child, it was my very favorite part of the film. It was just so exciting, you know. But that whole last 20 minutes, where, you know, the battle on Endor, the battle between Luke and Vader and the Emperor and everything. Yeah, great ending to that film. I mean, it was Deus Ex Machina, whatever, you know, like it had to wrap it all up in a nice pretty bow and everything. Of course, that was the deal, and that was supposed to be the last Star Wars movie, you know. Though they did talk about prequels, and obviously it took a long time for them to make the next one, The Phantom Menace, once the technology had caught up, and so they were able to do a lot of those really cool effects, you know. And so this is the Star Wars Treasury storybook, audiobook thing, Sound Treasury storybook, and I got this for $2 at Goodwill. I want to give it to my nephews at some point, but we'll see if they even want it. But there's lots of great sound effects here.
I am C-3PO, human-cyborg relations.
But more specifically to Return of the Jedi. Yeah. And of course, beautiful. That's awesome. Alright, I won't. Alright, so yeah, I guess that's about it. It's about 10 minutes. That's about as long as I wanted this video to be. So yeah, that's my tribute to Return of the Jedi. What are your memories of seeing Return of the Jedi, Star Wars Episode 6? And let me know in the comments below, because I'd love to know. Happy 40th anniversary I feel old. I'm 45 now. And yeah, so some of the earliest memories of my life watching Star Wars and, spending time with family and enjoying the movie with family and friends. And, that's the most important thing, of course. So, yeah. So tell me your memories of Return of the Jedi. And that's all from me, guys. This is Neil. And until next time,
The Force will be with you, always.
peace.